Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Escondido City Council. Please rise for a moment of reflection and remain standing for the flag salute.
Yes, please join me in a moment of reflection. We come together tonight to say thank you. Thank you for the privilege, the blessing, the honor it is to serve here in the city of Escondido. We come together tonight as a diverse community, a community from backgrounds, different beliefs, different presents, and different futures, yet one common goal, that is the betterment of this city. We come together tonight to seek guidance, wisdom, and discernment during deliberations that transpire this evening, and in doing so, we lift up Councilmember Morosco, Councilmember Garcia, Councilmember Martinez, Deputy Mayor Garcia, and Mayor White. May they be granted peace and wisdom as they lead our student to bright and prosperous future. And on this day, we remember 23 years ago, the lives tragically lost, and we will never forget. Amen.
I'm calling this meeting to order. Councilmember Morosco. Councilmember Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Martinez.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Garcia.
Here.
And I, Mayor White, am here. Do we have a report out of closed session?
We do. Thank you, Mayor. The City Council heard one matter in closed session this evening. The matter of Warner versus City of Escondido has been continued to another date. All council members were present. The council approved by a vote of 5-0 the settlement of a claim filed by Jose and Mary Gomez, claim number 5693, in the amount of $15,822. Nothing further to report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. We have two. First, Phyllis.
Thank you. It's Mayor and City Council members. It's actually Verna Sundquist and Phyllis, and we're both speaking on behalf of urging the city to deal with the issue of homelessness in a way that is going to really encourage much more collaboration and much more consultation. This letter, which I'm reading a part of it, was sent to all the city council members and to the mayor, and I believe they've all had a chance to read it, but I would like to read at least a portion of it. As a council, first of all, I want to say we are a representative of Escondido Together, which is a coalition of faith leaders from Escondido. As the policy recognizes, homelessness is a difficult and complex problem. Yet contrary to the council's claims, answers are known. People do not set out to be homeless, nor are all homeless people criminals. In Escondido, many families are facing housing insecurity and are one paycheck away from sleeping on the streets. Homeless prevention resources are essential. While addiction and mental illness are definitely contributing to long-term homelessness, they are often the result, not the cause of homelessness. Again, people do not set out to be homeless, addicted, or mentally ill. Neither addiction nor mental illness are solved with fines, jails, or disruption. On the streets, building trust and providing resources are key. Outreach workers and police teams build relationships which create the bridge that brings people of the street because they present realistic options to the street. IDs, food showers, jobs, mental health, and substance treatment are all essential resources needed by the homeless, none of which can be accessed when lives are continually disrupted by abatements and displacements. I'm going to allow Phyllis to continue with the letter.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am Phyllis Gottschall. Many agencies throughout North County, including our own Interfaith Community Services, have had success in getting people off the streets and into stable housing. Escondido has a wealth of resources, including social service agencies, healthcare, schools, faith communities, and concerned citizens. We need investment in affordable housing and supportive housing for the mentally ill. Working with the community is key. A subcommittee of 2 cannot possibly come up with all the answers. We urge the City Council to remember the dignity and humanity of all folks in need, including those who are homeless today, as well as constituents who may become homeless tomorrow. Working with the agencies who provide resources and solutions provides the humane and compassionate response that the City Council seeks. So we ask the Council to consider creating a space in currently available buildings owned by the city as a daycare center for resources on these issues that we mentioned, which are mental health, drug addiction, addressing mental or medical needs, housing, and legal resources. As I see it as having a central place, people can then access, people who don't know where to go to access resources. They have a place that they know they can go to, plus the people offering the resources can collaborate with each other, so maybe there wouldn't be an overlap. And we ask the council to consider providing a space for safe parking for unhoused individuals. Thank you very much.
No further oral communication.
Thank you. That brings us to the consent calendar. Tonight, items 1 through 4 and 6 through 10 are on consent, as item 5 has been moved to current business. I will move to approve the consent calendar and items 1 through 4 and 6 through 10. Do I have a second? I have a second. Please open the voting.
Voting is open. Motion approved, 5-0.
Awesome. That takes us to item 5, which is to approve a budget adjustment and award construction contract for the Juniper Street Lighting Improvement Project. Thank you all. The time's yours.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and council members. I'm Jonathan Schabel, City Engineer, and I'm here tonight to discuss the Juniper Street Lighting Improvement Project, and with me is Matt Suter, Project Manager.
This project was initiated from a request by the Old Escondido Neighborhood Group, a community development block grant eligible community. The project was...
And you might want to bring your microphone a little closer. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, let me start over. Thank you. This project was initiated from a request by the Old Escondido Neighborhood Group, a recognized community development block grant eligible community. The project was initially funded in 2018's CDBG action plan that was approved by council. And the goal of the project was to install lighting, additional pedestrian lighting and street lighting to meet current standards on this corridor and to promote walking to and from areas in the neighborhood to downtown. There goes the 2 types of light that we'll be adding, the pedestrian lights more frequently along the sidewalk, and then infilling standard street lights to meet our current lighting standards. So the original scope of the work included Juniper from 5th to 9th Avenues, and then an updated scope of work was added to also include the segment between 2nd and 5th Avenues. This was made possible by additional CDBG funding that was programmed for the project in fiscal years 23 and 24. Due to escalating construction costs and wanting to be able to award a project, staff kept the original scope of work as the base bid and added this, the scope of work as the added scope of work was added as an additive alternate in the event project funding could not cover all of the costs.
And so here you can see in the picture the option 1, which is the base bid only, and we're looking at from 5th to 9th, again, along Juniper Street. The base bid for the low bidder came in just over $1 million. And so when you add in the soft costs of construction management, contingency, inspection, material testing, the total comes up to, you can see there, a little over $1.3 million. So because the available balance for the CDBG is only $930,000, we would need a budget adjustment to complete this base bid work, and the amount of that would be $384,000. So option 2 is doing the base bid and the additive alternate work, which includes, as you can see on the map, extending the project from 2nd to 5th, which provides that full connectivity all the way to the downtown area. Again, this is originally a CDBG project for the old Escondido neighborhood group, but in order to get that connectivity, we recommend going all the way to 2nd Avenue. And in this case, you have the base bid and the additive alternate work for the low bidder came in at $1.6 million for a total project cost of $1.95 million. And so we're short a little over $1 million for the budget adjustment to complete the option 2 work. So going back to the funding a little bit, so Matt already mentioned the CDBG funds. Again, is $930,000 is available balance. And talking to the housing manager, they wanted me to emphasize that there is a critical timeliness test coming in next May, and we have to spend this money. There is some risk to the city if we don't meet that expenditure. And we're looking to supplement this project with public facilities funds. And currently there is almost $10 million in a public works yard relocation account. So the budget adjustment would come out of that account. And again, you actually have the 2 options. There's 2 resolutions before you, one for the smaller amount and one for the $1 million to complete the whole project from 2nd to 9th. And so that's staff's recommendation in order to provide that connectivity and that pedestrian-friendly environment all the way to the downtown. Is we're recommending option 2, which would construct the lighting, again, both pedestrian and street lighting from 2nd to 9th. So that would be resolution number 2024-130 for the public improvement agreement of $1.6 million, which again is the low bid amount. And then adopt resolution 2024-132, which would authorize that budget adjustment. And that concludes our presentation, but we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on this one?
None.
Okay, my only question is that the account, the Public Works account, what is that designated for?
So that account was started years ago. We do have a real issue with our Public Works yard where we really need to renovate or relocate it. But that's a bigger question that has to wait till we have much more resources available. And the amount we're accruing in this fund, we're never going to reach that goal. So we have a larger conversation about Public Works relocation. As you heard in the presentation from North County Transit, there may be some opportunities for land repositioning, other conversations in the future. But the goal of that account to meet the need of the yard relocation is a long way off. And that's really would be a financing project we would have to get in with state agencies. So taking this amount to make this immediate improvement would not significantly alter the arithmetic around that fund.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Then with that, I'll move to approve Resolution 2024-130 and 132. I would ask for a second, and then I'll open it up for, perfect. I have a second. Any other questions or concerns from the council?
Thank you for the presentation. Can we go back to the map that has the streets? Yeah. So is the reason that the other amount wasn't requested just because of the CDBG limits? Is that why? It looks like this is a need that has been there, but they decided to just do the 5th Avenue through 9th because of budget? Is that why that was requested initially?
It was initially, it was just because the old Escondido neighborhood group had come in, and that is within their footprint.
Okay, the 5th to 9th?
Yeah.
Got it. But there's still a need, for the other segments of that.
Yeah, that's what happened, is it kind of, as this thing has, you see it's gone on since 2018, and as it's gone on, it just made sense to continue the walk down to Second, so that you would have the continued lighting.
Makes sense. And then if we were to wait on this, I'm assuming costs would just increase later on if we were to try to address it later.
Well, that's a hard one to tell. We've had, every year on other projects, we've had costs escalating heavily, and we always think they're going to level out, and that hasn't been the case so far. So there is money out there from other funding sources, like federal funding that kept street projects going. So we're thinking that at some point it could happen, but it's a guess as to when.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have
Real quick, go big or go home. Yep.
all right, and just a quick question. You said that this was the lowest bid? And how many bids were there, if I may ask?
2 bids.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, please open the voting.
Voting is open. Option 2, that's the motion. Councilmember Garcia, would you mind registering a vote? Didn't pick it up, sorry. Motion approved, yeah, 5-0.
Thank you. On to current business is item 11, the appointment of ad hoc subcommittee to review request for proposal submissions to operate the California Center for the Arts Escondido facility.
Time is yours, Mr. Mayor, however you'd like to move forward with this item.
Okay, perfect. Well, I don't really have much to say other than I would like to appoint myself and Councilmember Joe Garcia, which would be my motion. All right. Anybody questions, comments? Go ahead.
So I'm going to go ahead and support this, although I still, would prefer staff being the RFP process, but being that, Councilmember or Deputy Mayor Garcia and myself sit on the Arts Committee, it doesn't leave very many options for, so I'll go ahead and support that tonight.
Okay, thank you. Please open the voting.
Voting is open. Motion approved, 5-0.
Okay, on to future agenda. I'd like to propose adding a resolution in support of Prop 36 and would ask for a second on that. Perfect, thank you. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Okay. Council member subcommittee reports and other reports. Councilmember Morosco. Oh, Councilmember Garcia. Are you not ready either? Fine, I'll go. Yesterday, we had a boards and commissions subcommittee meeting. We discussed the process by which policy is introduced to the council and considered, and also, what's the word I'm looking for? Formalizing the way subcommittees are structured and things like that. Last night, I also had the pleasure of being at the Escondido Union High School District Board meeting to present the Student of the Month with a certificate of recognition. In economic development for the last 2 weeks, we've discussed, reviewed the final draft for the short-term vacation rental ordinance, and which will be coming to council soon, as well as the vacant building and lot registry that we've been working on. On Saturday at Future Generations Chiropractic, there was a fam jam. It was just a fun event with families and speakers to bring the community together that I was grateful to be a part of. And that'll conclude my report for this evening. Deputy Mayor?
All right, thank you. As everyone here is familiar or knows about the battery storage fire that happened this past weekend, if you want to.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I was in constant communication with the chief of fire, and we were, getting the information out there. I think we're expecting some kind of update, city manager. Is that?
There will be
At some
updates
point.
throughout. There will be a presentation and an after-action report later on this fall.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. I also spoke with the CEO of the Clean Energy Alliance, which I'm on the board of, and he expressed his concerns with me as well in terms of our resolution, and I expressed my concerns on behalf of our constituents of, the safety and everything. I think we're working really hard at finding a good solution and moving good and coming up with good proposals that are going to consider the safety of the community, but also the needs of energy. So that is the biggest thing that I have to report. And as always, thank you to my community for the privilege of serving you.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. So I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to visit, again, I've done a tour before, but I visited Operation Hope. It's a nonprofit family shelter in Vista, they have a new executive director, so I went to a mixer last night to meet the new executive director. They have pantries there. They serve dinner to families. They house, they have 12 rooms for families. It's a high barrier shelter, and the majority of the families that they serve are actually Escondido families. And then after Escondido is Oceanside, and over 60% of the families there are children. I was able to attend Música en la Plaza with Las Cafeteras. One of my favorite groups was here in Escondido a week and a half ago. That was fun. And then for, Latino History Month this month, Happy Latino History Month, they're having Música en la Plaza every single Friday. And there's lots of festivities for Mexican Independence Day, Friday at the Center for the Arts. There's also events on Sunday at Grape Day Park and the House of Prayer Church. I did meet with leaders from Escondido Together in my district. It's a coalition of multi-faith leaders, and just asking about, what are the needs of the district? What are the needs that I'm hearing in the community? So I appreciate them reaching out to hear what I'm hearing from the community. Tomorrow, I do have a board meeting for the Air Pollution Control District, so I'll share more about that once that meeting passes. On Friday, I visited Palomar College. I was a former student of Palomar College. So we had a screening of Almost Home: Life After Incarceration. It's a film that was shown at here in Escondido at the Ritz Theater. And since then, a lot has happened. Those who watched the movie, it's about, the Rising Scholars Program, which is a program for formerly incarcerated people that attend Palomar College, and how they get support to, get their degrees and other resources in life to be successful. So several students have, lost their lives in that film. One of my mentees, unfortunately, passed away from suicide. Very unexpected, and so the film captured his story after, and just giving the message of, how important mental health resources are. So in light of, yesterday being World Suicide Prevention Day, I wanted to share about Luis and his story in that film that is available, and just the importance of mental health resources, and for us to have those resources in the community. His mother was also in attendance. I was able to drive her there, and she received an award from the president of Palomar College, the President's Award for Luis, for all that he contributed to Palomar College. That is all I have. I will see you at the festivities this weekend. And again, Happy Latino History Month. And that's all I have for today. Thank you, Mayor.
Sir, either one of you, whoever wants to go.
Just really quick. So I think all of us had the opportunity to meet with staff in regards to a sneak preview of the Public Arts Strategic Plan that's going to be coming to us. And it was such a fantastic presentation. It's going to be really great once we have it, the full bore presented to us as a council and to the city of Escondido and all the citizens. And in regards to something that Councilmember Garcia brought up, Deputy Mayor Garcia brought up about the SDG&E fire, I just want to commend everyone on city staff and all the different departments that were involved with that, from city manager to fire chief to all the personnel who were involved. The response was phenomenal. The action was phenomenal. The efforts were phenomenal. The information provided us and subsequently to the community were spot on and timely and the best possible. And again, just want to take my hat off to them and thank them for doing such a fantastic job of taking care of a very tenuous situation here in the city of Escondido.
So I have a couple of things. First, the mayor and I had the opportunity to meet with Paco Pablo, who is a top-notch artist, a local artist, lives here in the area. He recently opened up a gallery at the mall, and we had a very interesting and wonderful meeting, very interactive gallery. So I invite anyone that have the opportunity to go, but I was told, said, when you go, make sure you download the app so you can get the full experience. So looking forward to getting the app so I can get the whole full experience of that. That was a wonderful meeting. We have some great plans that will impact our community in the future. I also I had an opportunity to give representatives from NARIP, the real estate agency that represents Latinos all over the United States. I gave them a tour of City Hall, and we met, and we have some great plans, particularly coming out this month because of the Hispanic Heritage Month. So that was a wonderful meeting. Had a meeting with some constituents this week, and I need to give a shout out to staff. They requested a meeting because they were concerned over some safety issues with signs on left turn lights and things. So I submitted their request, and as we were walking over to the street, and this will be a particular interest to the city manager, as we were walking from the old Mars Pizza, remember over there? So from walking from there over to supposedly the corner, Nordahl and El Norte, right? The constituent turns around and looks at me and says, "Joe, they fixed it." And I stood there. I said, in my mind, I'm like, they fixed what? And then she pointed it out and she said, they fixed it. Look at the sign. And their concern was that there were 2 lanes that turn left, but the sign only had 1. So people in one of the left turn lanes were going straight. And she said, I did that last week. Well, thank you, staff. City manager, please let staff know that they made a very, very positive impact with our community to make sure that our community knows that our staff are concerned for their safety. So that was a great meeting that I had. Música en la Plaza, thank you, Councilmember Martinez, for mentioning that. It was great. I was there. I've been there the last couple of times, and it was a lot of fun. And this coming Friday, we're gonna celebrate Mexican Independence Day. We'll start at 6:30 with awards, and then at 9 p.m. on the dot, we're going to do the traditional grito, is what it's called. And I will have the privilege again this year to be able to lead the grito. We have a color guard coming in from Tijuana to present the colors of Mexico. We'll also have the performance for the American National Anthem, which is going to be great. That will be done by one of our local singers here, Lumaya. Will be doing that. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be music going on from 7 o'clock on through all the way to 10. It'll be here at the Lyric Court in the Center for the Arts. This year, we're going to have Huapango dancing. It's a type of dancing from a specific area in Mexico. It's a zapateado, so it's a lot of hitting your feet on the ground. It's a lot of fun, especially for those of us that have no idea how to do it, but it's great to see. So everyone's invited to come out. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of great music, and celebrating our community and our heritage. 52% of our community here in Escondido is of Latino or Hispanic descent, with many of them coming from Mexican backgrounds. So last year we packed the place. This year we know we're going to pack it again. A lot of fun. Come out 6:30. We'll be presenting awards, and at 9 o'clock on the dot, we'll be starting with the festivities of the Grito. Thank you. So and that's the end of my report.
Thank you. City Manager?
Nothing to report.
Great. One public comment.
Yes, Robert.
Good evening and welcome, and thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I want to speak about the battery factory fire. I represent a firm that has been in that industry for about 15 years, and the reason I'm here to speak tonight is to give you a heads up. We have been working with the EPA for about 15 years on batteries, and we now have a battery that never catches fire. And the elements of that battery, as opposed to having to go out of the United States to China and many other places that are not exactly our friends, all of that material is made in the United States, and that battery is gone through exhaustive testing and is in the process of development on a commercial scale, and we're working with international clients and governments to replace battery factories or build them where they never catch fire. All of those elements and all the development of that battery will be done in the United States. I was in a hearing earlier with several other public agencies who are kind of trying to contend with battery factory fires and the lithium issues and what kind of a impact that has on residents and the kinds of fire department issues there are with putting them out. And I will be meeting with the battalion chief, and I've gotten cards today of other people I'll be meeting with to talk with them. We're already initiating discussions with the San Diego Gas and Electric to look at needs that they have and also outages that they're having where we can use this battery and create an environment that's much more safe and much more effective without any of the environmental impacts that currently have, because what's in that battery is perfectly safe and will never catch fire. So I wanted to give you a heads up about that, and I'll be getting more information to you, and I think some of the people at the fire department and other agencies will be in contact with you through some of the things that we'll be doing, and we hope to help solve that problem on a worldwide basis. That's all I have to say, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.